So much has changed since 2003. We're talking about a world that, while the internet was around, certainly wasn't as prevalent as it is today. The very concept of a content creator wasn't a thing, much less the platform that popularized it. The fact that everything in this town is in this semi-monochrome color palette, yet all the important characters are different colors, it actually makes important shit stand out better. While the days of 24-hour cable news are slowly coming to an end, hopefully, why not replace the hour you would have spent watching CNN when growing up in 2009 with an hour of an anime girl's Apex stream? Hell, at one point I was expecting him to tear a man's balls off before I remembered I can't show castration on YouTube. That means everything after this is made the fuck up. So, you want to know how to get around ancient CD-DRM? You track down a cracked version of the game, or even go to the extreme of microwaving my phone, hitchhiking to the mountains, and become the Catskill Hermit. Momentary lapse of existential inquisition aside, when the systems do get questioned, no one is really morally against them because they see no inherent moral contradiction. How famous really would your girlfriend streamer be at 1 million subs? You do have a man putting on a performance as a character, be it the character who says cocksucker on television, or the character who calmly tells a story to children. As at the time I first played it, I was still trying to make sense of it even a week after finishing. So I respect the alternate take on a horror game, especially since the perversion of bedtime stories and lullabies into something much scarier is a common horror trope. Just be sure to say your prayers, and don't forget, to get the full impact of the game, I would recommend playing at night in a dark room, only illuminated by your computer monitor. Anyway, Mark likes a pink cat and Dylan likes a pink mouse. Yeah, it strangely makes me think of Tom and Jerry in a weird way. Then there's Yellow River Kingdom and, ASCII game. Yeah, no. So what does a space pirate and a Dunkin' Donut have to do with finding Basil? Nothing. And that was Absolute Problem in 2022. You know what? I kind of thought that I wouldn't have enough material for a montage at the end of the year. Because even going back like a year ago when I did the RPG Maker Part 1 video, I kind of had the idea of, you know what, I want to have enough material. If I do a monthly video, by the end of the year, I should have enough material for a montage, right? And even though I have missed several months, mostly because of the computer breaking, I still had enough to make a little bit of a montage. And you know what? This will probably end up becoming the trailer. Or at least I'm going to take this and, probably just make it a little bit better. And make that the trailer for the channel, because the main channel doesn't actually have a trailer. At least it never did. It's currently it is just a music video, but I never made a trailer for the channel because I never really had enough stuff to show for the channel. And now I actually do, because this is also a format of video that I'm just going to keep going with. Also, if I am like slurring words or something, or just not speaking coherently, I am very sick right now, and I'm also very tired. So it's a double combo of a lot of stuff just not going well. On top of that, also starting to deal with some computer bullshits, because it turns out that there might be something possibly wrong with a part that I just ordered. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, enough of that. Let's look at Absolute Problem 2022. And to do that, I think I do need to look a little bit at 2021 just for a second. So when the Omori video came out, alright, a little bit of context. That was a pilot video, really a test of what the next format of videos I wanted to do on the channel was going to be like. I had an idea for how I wanted to make my videos, how I wanted to present them, and I figured, hey, might as well try it with this game that I played and fell in love with. So I did that, and then it became a stupidly successful video compared to everything I've done before. I was like, well, shit, let's keep doing this. Because I liked the video, I also liked how it felt to make it, and I thought, hey, if more people watch this compared to all my other stuff, then surely me actually making videos kind of like this would not only attract more of an audience, but it'd also be kind of more interesting to watch in general. So yeah, that was really a test of what would become the Memories Made in Virtual Worlds, and specifically at the time, what was Simulations Part 1 SimCity. Because at the beginning of 2021, when I went into 2021 that is, I had the idea for 2 videos, Simulations Part 1 and what eventually might become Simulations Part 2, hopefully. With Simulations Part 1, I wanted to do that all the way back in the beginning of 2021, so I started writing that, started getting footage for it, and then Omori happened, and I was able to test pilot that. As for Minecraft, that video, that came about in April, because I was having a little bit of like a nostalgia trip and realized, you know what, I kind of want to do a video on Minecraft as well. I'll make it kind of like what I'm thinking the SimCity video will be, and then eventually that became the second video in this current format for the channel. And then RPG Maker Part 1, what makes an RPG Maker horror game. So this was, this would be me refining the shorter form version of my video, because I didn't want all my videos to just be an hour long, even though they have kind of gone that way. I wanted to see what I could do with a shorter form video, and I decided, hey, why not do a like segmented video like the RPG Maker video, and then what would become part 2 as well, where I focus on different games under this idea of what makes an RPG Maker horror game. Because seriously, like that actually is something that I was very interested in, and still am, why that is such a like stereotypical thing, like, oh, it's an RPG Maker game, but it's horror. Oh, because seriously, you have a lot of those. As I've just covered so far, you have, of course, Yume Niki's the most famous one. Well, actually, Corpse Party is the most famous one. But then you have Yume Niki. You also have the games like Mad Father and Misao. So, yeah, I mean, that's that. And then that ended up forming part 2, because I realized after making that video, hold up, a lot of these games weren't made in RPG Maker, they were made in Wolf RPG Editor. That sets the stage for 2022. What is the goal for 2022? Well, once I upload that RPG Maker video, I didn't look at analytics for like a whole day. I just wanted to spend time with my family. It was New Year's after all. But when I started again on January 1st, I decided, alright, it's time to start a monthly grind of making a new video every month. And I think I did a decent job. I kept that up, including the Minecraft video in November. So that was November's video, then December's video was RPG Maker. The streak went until June. I think if I counted correctly, that's 8 videos that I did back-to-back, one a month. And that is actually really good coming from me, because even on this channel, if you go back to the like all the stuff I was doing in 2019, at best I was doing stuff sporadically where I would release maybe like 2 videos a week, but like for 2 weeks, and then there'd be a pause for a week or 2. There was never a like every week I'm uploading a new video. That just didn't happen with the channel. And I think that was really my greatest achievements of this year, really, was doing that, and then continuing to grow the channel even after the Omori video. Because the channel before the Omori video was at like 33 subs or something, and then after the video came out, it went up to like 350. So it basically had 10 times itself. But even though I didn't double the channel's size at that point compared to what the Omori video did, I did get pretty close, and I think if I would have been able to put out the like last few videos of this year, I would have been able to get, I honestly think I would have been able to get up to like 800 subs, I think. More than doubling what the Omori video did. Or, well, more than doubling, whoops, just punched my mic with my index finger. 350 times 2 is 700. I would have gotten to 800, so I would have more than doubled. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Let's talk about Death of an Artist. This was the first video, and in two ways. It was the first video of the year, and it was also the first video of, well, following the Omori video, because when the Omori video happened, I began immediately trying to write videos, and I wanted to do a video on Greece. I decided that would be what I would do, and it ended up, in my opinion, being a very weak video. Okay? And that is my opinion, but also it can be supported by statistics. Because if you look at just how that video performed compared to everything else, as I'm looking at it right now, it still hasn't hit 100 views. In terms of the big videos, there is no other video that hasn't hit 100 views that came out this year. Hell, this is the least viewed video out of the current series. And this is overlooking stuff like the Japanese Man Chases Car on Expressway and, what is it, Steel Above Water, the full album stream. Yeah, this video was just kind of a shit show to put together, because the problem is that this is a video I worked on in August, tried to edit in September and October, and then just by October had to just put on the back burner while I worked on the Minecraft video. And then January comes around and I'm like, okay, I want to do a new video, but I don't know what to do it on. Oh, I know, I'll just take this old project I had and try and finish it up. And I finished it, but it wasn't really all that good. Now, as for what was kind of a surprise success was actually the Needy Streamer Overload videos, because when the first one came out, it actually did not perform well at all, which was actually a little discouraging because I had written this very long script and I realized, alright, I don't want to edit it down a lot because I think I would cut out a lot of the substance that is needed for this game. So I'll just do a two-parter. What could go wrong? Well, the first part just didn't perform at all. It's like, fuck, I've already promised the second part. Shit. Guess I still have to deliver. And sure enough, when I did deliver, like, both videos then started to pick up a lot of traction. And what's funny is the second video actually outperformed the first video. So that's crazy. That also coincided with the same time that I began promoting my stuff through TikTok, so that could have had an effect on it as well. Though strangely, I don't think I ever made a TikTok of the second part. I only made TikToks of the first part. I guess people just watched the second part. And funny enough, that kind of worked out anyway, because the second part I think was better. Simply because I did talk about the game more in the second part, and tied it more to current things. Because I think the first part, I think if you watch the first part, you kind of have to watch the second part, because if I recall correctly with that script, the first part, I didn't really talk too much about the game. I did talk a little bit, but I basically front-loaded a lot of, like, pretext to everything. Whereas the second part, I think I got more into the sort of, like, parasocial stuff that happens with streaming that I think you end up seeing a lot more of, even, like, as the year went on, honestly, with 2022. Which was odd. I don't know, maybe that was just me paying attention to random things more. I don't know. But then also, with that one, I was actually, like, talking about topics that were kind of interesting or relevant to the game, like streaming, like VTubers, like all of that. So, RPG Maker Part 2. Out of the shorter videos, out of the, like, less complex videos, like the Sensei video, like the, even the newest Omori video, this one might be one of my favorites. Because I think this one is precisely where I figured out how I was going to go forward with this RPG Maker kind of mini-series, I suppose. Because with this, I covered a good amount of games and learned several things. For instance, to not cover the entirety of the Strange Men anthology in a video alongside other videos, because I pretty much skimmed over that entire anthology. But I think I did cover it enough where I think I did justice to a degree. I think I covered enough of it where its inclusion was worthy. Because I think otherwise it would have been, honestly, like a 15-minute video if I wanted to go into detail. Yeah, I think with that video, I pretty much learned that I need to keep it to about maybe 5 games at most. Because it really did take a long time to get through the Strange Men series, because I also had to figure out where do I draw the line at alternate endings and going after that. Because even with the first Omori video, right, I didn't go with any alternate endings with that. I only went with really the main ending that I went by. And by the time that I did the second video, well, I kind of encompassed everything with that video. But that was because I had already played the game a year prior. Given that I only give myself a month to make the video, it ends up being a little difficult to properly do everything, like record everything, and then especially if I don't even talk about it, it's like, was that worth me replaying half the game? And genuinely, with one of the games, you kind of have to replay half the game because of a weird variable that's set very early on. That video learned a few things with how I'm going to continue to talk about RPG Maker horror games, and yes, there will be a part 3 at some point. Just again, when my video for October got delayed, so did the video I had in mind for RPG Maker Part 3. Simulations Part 1 SimCity. Probably my best video, because this is a video that I have wanted to do for a long time. Obviously, as I said before, this is a video that I wanted to do before even the Omori video. When this finally came together, and I finally watched the final cut of it, the version where I uploaded it onto the platform, when I got to the end of it, I was so happy with what happened, with what I got out of it. Because this really was the video that I had kind of envisioned and wanted to try and do for the series. Now, there are a couple of things that I would possibly want to do a little bit more of, like show a little bit more of really the development side of everything. But I think the narrative that I told with this video was pretty solid. And I think that is ultimately what makes the video stand out in my head. Because this was a video that I wrote off as, no one's going to watch this. Let me just make this as like an indulgent thing for myself. Because I like SimCity. And I am the only person under like 30 that probably plays SimCity or even is going to do a video on it. The idea for it kind of started to develop into a couple of different things. Like there was one idea that I had in this video towards the very end of producing it, where I thought, alright, well, I don't want to just end the video on such a negative note on the series. So maybe I could put in an extra chapter where I talk about the community of the game a little bit. That ended up in the final cut of Legacy of the SimCity series, Simulations Part 1 SimCity. Where that chapter was supposed to go is exactly where I tease the addendum. And then what was the video following that month in June. Because the original Simulations video, I was going to have that as a brief chapter where I got some like testimonials from people in the community about their nostalgia with the series, because I thought that that would make it seem like the game, this isn't just me obsessing over one game. I mean, it is, but this also was a game that had meaning to other people. I'm so glad I didn't keep it to just that, because The Eternal Life of SimCity 4, that is a video that I am pretty proud of. Because it is so different to the standard Absolute Problem video format, I feel. Because it was actually me kind of doing some journalism because of interviewing the people at NAM team. And honestly, like the one regret I have with that video is that I didn't reach out to Simtropolis. I did talk about Simtropolis. I was showing like archival web archive sites of Simtropolis, and I was talking about some other websites as well. Like, I think what happened was when I thought about doing that, I realized, fuck, I don't have a lot of time. Because I pretty much, like, procrastinated on that very idea. Like, I'm not going to say procrastinate necessarily, because I was working on the video throughout the month. But when I had that idea of reaching out to Simtropolis, for some reason, that happened so late in the video process where I realized, fuck, I don't have a lot of time with this. I'm gonna have to rush this a little bit. And then trying to reach out, it actually was pretty difficult. Editing out me not having my wards together, yeah, so what actually was going on, from what I can remember, is I actually did try to reach out to site operators through direct message on Simtropolis, but for some reason, the direct message service didn't work. I don't know why. And yeah, everything else that I was saying about being towards the end of the month and needing to get the video out, that was the kind of nail in the coffin, where it's like, well, if this isn't working, then oh well, kind of sucks, but I just have to keep rolling with this. So that was the point I was trying to make. Yeah, that is my biggest regret with that video, is I wish I would have gotten the perspective of Simtropolis, of like the admins and like key personnel there. And honestly, if I had another month, if I delayed that video for a month, which I probably should have, but I was planning on getting the Omori video out the following month anyway. But if I had an extra month on that video, I would have done that and would have figured out a way of reaching out to Simtropolis, because I think that their like side of the story would have been very important as well. So then the next video wasn't in July, it was in late August. Omori, Expectations, and Eliza Storytelling. This was effectively a remake of my first Omori video, because the first Omori video, I'll say this, I had a slightly different interpretation of the story. In fact, I forget what it was that I didn't realize entirely. Actually, I want to say it was a lot of the endgame stuff I, like, didn't really interpret correctly. I didn't realize that there was something going on in kind of the background of the world until I replayed it. That's all I'm going to say, because I'm not going to spoil the whole game in this random one-off video. That is effectively what I end up realizing, and because of that, that ended up shaping... I think I actually had to redo about half of the script at one point, just because I was trying to ride it while I was playing it, and because I hadn't gotten to like the actual hikikomori stuff as I was riding it, when I finally did get to that, I then had to rewrite some stuff, and I was also really fucking busy at the time with stuff in my like real life, so that delayed the video. I also made the mistake of, okay, I was going on a trip in early August, and I was like, alright, I'm going to finish the video before this trip. That didn't happen, so I thought, okay, I'm going to edit this on the trip. And then I spent like 2 or 3 days proxying all the footage. Well, I did that anyway because that was one thing, but I spent like 3 days preparing the project, copying it over to a hard drive, doing all that. That way I could put it in a bag with my laptop and take it on the trip. And then I left the hard drive plugged into my desktop for the, I don't know, like 2 weeks or so that I was gone. So I couldn't do anything for 2 weeks. And honestly, that was probably for the best. In terms of mental health, yeah, that was probably for the best. Because I was actually able to take a break and kind of enjoy a trip for once. Now, at the moment, I think that this video on Omori might be the best video that I've done in terms of just covering a single game. Because I think I did a very thorough job on covering Omori. Went very detailed with it, kind of just threw anything at it, which was actually pretty fun to do. Like, the idea for the, what was it? The like, weird theories that I threw in, that were, one of them that was just, like, stupid. And deliberately so. I wanted that to be really stupid, because that was actually just a theory I came up with a friend on Discord. Just wanted to do a shit post with that one. But having fun with the production of that was a fun video to make. Even though it was almost an hour long, that was a really fun video to make, because I had a lot of material to work with, and I think I made a lot of material to then work with in the video. I don't know what I'm saying, man. I'm sick, tired, and kind of in a little bit of pain, actually. I don't know why. Huh. Maybe I need to get that checked out. Anyway, but this is a video that I actually do have a story that I want to actually take a moment to pause and talk about, because a couple of times while working on my videos, I've had a moment where I guess I've been kind of reassured that this is what I like to do, I suppose is the best way of putting it. One of these times happened months ago. Well, yeah, it happened a while ago, where I was having a moment where I was kind of wondering, like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? There was a point where I was opening up Adobe Premiere and was like, fuck, man, I do not want to look at this anymore. I fucking hate Adobe Premiere. I don't want to see this. And this is going to sound weird because it sounds like I'm just worshiping Adobe, but trust me, Adobe has their problems. But it's just that this is the one program that I've put thousands of hours into, more so than any other game, probably more than even Minecraft, honestly. That was that moment where I thought, I don't want to look at Premiere again. I was like, hold on a second. I've been using Adobe Premiere for almost 10 years, and now I don't want to look at it? Hold on. Because the equivalent, I'd say, is this is like the pianist looking at the piano and wanting to smash it with a hammer. Because, like, in my opinion, even though I don't think any of my videos are high art or anything like that, I do create stuff a lot in Adobe Premiere. And same with Photoshop as well. So, to basically look at my tool and then hate it, that was something that actually required me to go and take a walk on like a cold night for a little while and just think about things. The problem I had reached was basically what you could call burnout, but also me reaching the point where I was hating the thing that I previously loved doing. And I kept wondering, why is that? And eventually what ended up happening that first time is I ended up like refocusing my efforts on some things, took a small break, but refocused on doing the Minecraft video. And even though I was dead fucking tired at the end of doing that Minecraft video, because there was a point while editing that video and also finalizing Voxel Memories where in the course of 48 hours, I basically only slept for maybe like 4 hours, maybe 6. It was still at that moment that once I finished it, I was like, I've actually done something pretty incredible, because this is the first properly edited hour-long video I've done. Then that happened again, or at least in a much smaller form, with the Omori video. Because with the Omori video, there was, again, a thing that made me for a little while think, alright, I don't want to really deal with Premiere, I'm tired of this, like, having to edit some stuff. And it wasn't so much as me hating the program or hating anything like that, it was just kind of being over it and being worn out, I suppose is the best way of putting it. I don't know. I don't know how to really describe it. It was just that I didn't really like. There was some stuff going on, man. That's all I'll say. What ended up happening was, after a little bit of a break, I suppose, and I don't even think this happened before I went on that trip. This happened after this trip. I think this happened before the trip, where I was just sitting in front of my computer, editing some stuff, and I just had this thought: I fucking love what I'm doing right now. And it was at that moment I realized, after I thought, well, I guess this is just what I should be doing then, huh? Because this is clearly what I enjoy doing, so obviously this is what I probably should be doing anyway, if this is what I like doing. So it wasn't really, I guess, like, I think the best way of putting it is that I hadn't grown to, like, hate video editing or making videos. But instead, by the time that I was making the second Omori video, I realized, no, this is what I want to do. This is what I enjoy doing. This is what I enjoy making. So that then brings us to the final video on Absolute Problem at the moment. Why The Shining is a masterpiece of horror. This video is probably the most cursed video I've made, because this was the video that killed my computer, effectively. Again, the computer's still working, but graphics card doesn't work. Computer sometimes has seizures, you know how it is. This video has been odd because it didn't really perform well at all, but now it is kind of performing alright. At the beginning of, just as a point of reference, at the beginning of this month, it was at 226 views apparently, and now it is at about 660. And then at the beginning of November, it was at only 93 views. 99 views. I am kind of under the impression that I think this video is going to become like a sleeper hit for the channel, I think. I don't know though, I can't really confirm that. It's just a feeling I have, and looking at the, like, analytics and all that, it looks like that this video could possibly have like 1,000 views by the end of January. I thought it would have 1,000 views by the end of the year based off of how it was going, but I don't know. It's just been really slow. It's been taking its time, but yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if this actually becomes like the 4th video, I think, that has reached 1,000 views on the channel. I'm surprised Simulations Part 1 SimC hasn't already reached that, but yeah, no. But this is a video that I wanted to make for a little while, just because I wanted to transition out of just being stuck in, like, the hole of only doing videos on games. I want to talk about different media as well. I want to talk about possible music at some point, but I do want to talk about films as well as games. Doing this video on The Shining, that was part of me trying to look at different media. This doesn't mean I'm going to not talk about games anymore. Trust me, I still have a couple of videos that I'm wanting to do on games. Just a couple, okay? Maybe at least 2. At least 2. I think 2 is a really good number, so at least 2 more video. Okay, no, there's going to be more than 2, but I have a feeling what's going to happen is this is going to be a video that I will look back at and think, man, I could have done that so much better. Because I think that this is going to be a video that is very similar to the first Omori video, where it does mark sort of a new era for the channel, I think. Not so much, again, that it's going to be marking a drastic shift in the channel, but it is going to it's going to open up the gates a little bit more for the channel, for me to talk about other stuff. Man, I can't believe that was the video that killed my computer. That's that's just crazy. I think that kind of does it for the end of the year video. Here's Absolute Problem in 2023. I'm not going to be coming back in January, I can tell you that right now. But I will be coming back soon. Knock on wood. Because I'm having a potential issue right now, actually, with a part that I just ordered, so who knows how long that will take to get resolved. Yeah, I should be coming back soon, hopefully. Subscribe to the channels. My back is hurting. I've kind of just lost my voice by now, and I feel sick.